This is K.M.B. This is Real Talk with K.M.B. This is K.M.B. This is, I don't even know anymore, guys, but, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, I'm doing something a little bit different. By the way, Happy New Year's. Can't believe we're already in 2026. Like, new year, new thing, this is a Q&A. I don't think I ever really did a Q&A on my recent Real Talk with K.M.B. channel. I have done a Q&A with me and my friend back when we used to vlog. I'm gonna talk about those days a lot on this Q&A today. But I wanted to do something a little different today than I usually do. This isn't really the podcast. This is just for you guys to get to know me a little bit better. So I ask you guys some questions, and these are the questions that I'm about to read off of. So starting off with the first one is gonna be, drum roll please. Number one question: what made you want to do YouTube in the first place? I feel like what really made me want to do YouTube in the first place was back in 2017, 2018 era is when YouTube was like everybody wanted to be a YouTuber. Like that was the prime era. That's when they were making money. That's when they were getting mansions. That's when everyone was going up to LA. The main person that really made me want to do YouTube, I talked about this on my first ever podcast episode that I dropped, was Jake Paul. Jake Paul used to be a huge YouTuber back in 2016, 17, 18 era. Like him and Logan like carried it, I would say. The Paul brothers were everywhere around that time. Now all he does is boxing, but still. I saw his videos and I was like, dude, like I want to be this. I want to do this stupid crap, buy dirt bikes, buy trucks, go up to LA, make it famous, go big with it. So I would say what made me want to do YouTube in the first place was to become famous. I'm gonna talk about why I came back to YouTube later on and why I kind of quit YouTube later on in this video. But like that's what made me want to do YouTube, is just to make it big, to be famous basically. I'll admit it. I would again, before I came to Christ and stuff like that, like fully came to Christ, fame and money was on everybody's mind when you're a teenager. I said this before too, though. My friend Jordan was vlogging before anybody else was, so I knew what vlogging was. I knew how to do it basically, and I said this before. If honestly, if you guys really want to know this question, go to my first ever episode of my podcast. You'll get to know basically the whole story. But short story, basically I was making goofy videos on Snapchat and stuff like that, and I'm a character, okay? Like I'm funny. I know how to do antics. I know how to get people's attention, and I was making goofy videos on Snapchat. People, not a lot, but a few people swiped up and was like, "Yo, what's your YouTube channel? You should be a YouTuber." Like I did. I got some people that said that, so I did. I got attention off of my Snapchat videos, just acting like an idiot basically. And then I started vlogging in 2018. It's crazy. It was January 1st, 2018 is when me and my friends dropped our first ever vlog, dude. So it just blows my mind that like I'm dropping this January 1st, 2026. Like it's been how long since 2018? Like 8 years now? Like man, time is just flying by. That's all I can think of. Second question: how did you find Jesus? It's not necessarily that I found Jesus. I got into my faith, I would say when I was 20. But I always knew who Jesus was since I was like 5 years old probably. I was baptized as a baby, okay? Like I used to go to Catholic church. I used to I learned how to pray at such a young age, and I talked about this before. So I clearly, when I was a kid, I knew of Jesus. I knew of God. I knew to pray to him, and stuff like that. But truthfully, I'm gonna redo my whole testimony video. That's gonna be my last ever episode on this pod. Um, but I would say this though, like I said, I always knew of Jesus. I always knew about him. But I would said I really found Jesus when I was 20. I was lost. I lost my grandpa, didn't know what to do, wanted to mature, wanted to grow as a person. So I started going to church every Sunday. Next thing you know, I started paying attention in church and started to think like, whoa, like this is like sinning is wrong. You know what I mean? Like sinning is so normalized in this world. I realized too that like following Jesus, that you can learn patience, that you can become a better person, a better version of yourself. So I think that's like just going to church every Sunday is what really helped me find Jesus. Especially to a lot of people, me personally, I need to get better at it. Is actually being in your Bible, understanding it more. My prayer life is very good. I talk to God every day. I pray to Him every night. I thank Him for my blessings, all the time. I'm struggling like everybody else is, and I always go towards Him when I'm struggling. So I think me personally, you guys are gonna watch that whole testimony video. It's like I said, it's gonna be the last of our episode of the podcast. But yeah, it's like I said, finding Jesus. I always knew him since I was a kid, so I'm very grateful for that with my family, teaching me the way of Christianity. You know what I'm saying? Just knowing about him. Another question we are going to talk about is this. This is a question for people that used to watch the vlogs. Number 3 is what happened to your old friends in the vlogs. If you guys remember the vlog days, the channel used to be called Legends of Maple Ridge. It was me and my friends. I was basically trying to make a Team 10. If anybody knows what Team 10 is, it's Jake Paul's old YouTube group of creators. I was trying to make something literally just like that. I was trying to make it our channel. I rewatched the vlogs. They're super cringy. I will never post them back as public again. They were super cringy. But later, long story short though, I'm still friends with those people actually till this day. You guys got to think, I literally grew up with those people. I wish that I can get them on the pod sometime, but I honestly don't think so, because they just don't do social media like I do. Mine, I put my face out there. I'm a character. I do YouTube. I post on my Instagram, and they don't do that kind of stuff on social media, and that's fine. They didn't have the same vision as I did, and maybe in the moment I was a little frustrated, but at the same time though, it's like, okay, that's my dream. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure there is people out there that probably had the same vision as me that I once did. I took a long break from YouTube, and I think it really did help all of our friendship. So it's like I said, I'm still friends with them till this day. Like I said, some of them did have the same vision as me. Some of them didn't. Again, we're all on career paths, and again, they don't do social media like I do. And again, maybe I'll get them on the pod, and maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Besides the point, next question is, when are you ending the pod, and are you gonna keep going with YouTube? As I talked about it with the last episode, that I am gonna talk about is gonna be my redoing my testimony, telling about it, because recently I got rebaptized, so that's definitely gonna be more into my testimony. And I felt like the third episode or second episode, was my testimony. If you guys want to check it out, check it out. But I feel like that wasn't good enough. Okay, I feel like that didn't really tell my story that good enough. You know, I feel like I didn't talk about my struggles a lot in that episode. It was more of I was just straight to the point, you know, like what made me who I am today, what made me want to be stronger with God. Like, so my last episode is going to be redoing my testimony, retelling it, um, adding more stuff to it. Um, but I am planning on just hitting 100 episodes. I am on after my next episode that I'm gonna drop is gonna be the 90th episode. So, you know, 10 more this year, and then I'm probably gonna hang up the podcast, but I'm still gonna do YouTube because it was good to be back. I don't know what kind of content I'm gonna make. I'll figure that out. But yeah, eventually, like I said, I am gonna end the pod because it's just more of I don't want to keep running with these ideas that I have to talk about. Like I don't want to just keep rambling on about stuff. Like I think my segments are very good, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to keep milking it. If that makes sense, I want to actually like do something that I'm truly passionate about. So yeah, 100 episodes, then I'm calling it quits for the pod. Next question's kind of interesting. Do you want to go famous off of YouTube? Dude, when I was 16, when I vlogged, I wanted to go famous. I wanted to be big. I wanted to go out to LA when I was 18, dude. Like it's that was the idea and stuff like that. I thought I could take me and my friends with me too, and we'll just become famous vloggers. You know what I mean? Like we'll have this giant YouTube channel. We'll have promotions, guest star on TV, maybe be in a movie or something like that. I wanted that dream so bad when I was younger. Now it's kind of more of I like what I'm doing. I like the setup. I like the fact that I'm in a career, but at the same time, I also have this on my side. Do I wish that I can make some money off of this a little bit? Absolutely. But what I'm doing is fine. Do I wish I have a little bit more views? Do I wish I have some more of attention? Absolutely. But what I'm doing is it's fine. I like this as kind of a side gig. I don't want to be in the spotlight 24/7. Old me used to love attention. Now me is kind of like I'm very isolated with myself. I don't know what happened, um but yeah, I think also fame gets to you. So to answer the question, no, I really don't want to be famous. Do I wish that I can have more people hear me out? Absolutely, like cuz who doesn't? But yeah, I wouldn't want where everybody knows who I am and you know travel and miss out on family. Family's too important to me, dude. Like I don't want to leave them for work. So answer the question, no, not really anymore. Um, what made you want to start a podcast in the first place, dude? That's a very good question. I think it was back in 2022. I really wanted to start a podcast, and I had friends that just weren't really down for it, or it was like maybe we'll do it type deal, but we never got around to it. I started getting into people on YouTube, watching their podcasts. I remember there was these people. They were not Christians at all. They were very worldly people, but they had this friend group that they had a podcast that they did together, and I'll admit it, the sin jealousy really hit me on that one. I was like just thinking, I was like, dang, dude, like I really wish I had a friend group like that I can do YouTube with, that I can do a podcast with. Like, oh, why can't that be me? And then I found out that the rapper Lecrae um did a podcast by himself, and it hit me, and I was like, dude, why don't I do that? So that's what I did. And how I got the name with Real Talk with K.M.B is just because I'm like, okay, let me talk about my life. You know, let me talk about my struggles in my life, because I was 22. I mean, 22 is not that old or whatever. You don't have that much wisdom, but still, I grew up. I grew up pretty fast for my age. Um, and so I named it Real Talk with K&B because it's like I talked about real stuff, dude. That's basically the short story of it. And next thing you know, though, I'm in my podcast and I'm recording. And next thing you know, I just started talking about Jesus, dude. I started talking about my faith. I started talking about my like testimony and all that. And none of that stuff was planned. And then it hit me. I was like, dude, I'm a Christian creator, and I'm fine with that. Absolutely, I'm fine with that. So now it's like this podcast. I gotta talk about Jesus, dude. He is our Lord and Savior. Like it's that wasn't even part of the plan. Is to talk about my faith that much. It was mostly talking about my life. But if it wasn't for Jesus, I wouldn't be here, who I am today. So gotta get an amen. So I guess what really helped me start a podcast was just I always just had the idea for it, and yeah. Um, who's your dream guest on the pod? Um, my dream guest for the pod. Well, my old friends, of course. No, I'm just playing. That is a tricky one, honestly. I feel like just like a celebrity, like somebody that I used to like look up to. Like I'm not saying like Jake Paul, but somebody like that. Like maybe another person that like has a podcast, like George Janko, maybe for example. Like I wouldn't mind if I was on his or if he was on mine. Like ask him questions or something like that. Maybe another like Christian creator and content creator, and I can like ask them like what like their testimony and ask them questions and get to know them better. Like somebody like that, like another person that is following Jesus and following in their faith and does a podcast and just ask them questions about their podcast and about their faith. So just somebody like that, like George Janko or some other. You guys know who I'm talking about. Bryce Crawford, like people like that. What's your favorite episode of the pod, dude? I don't even know where to start. I mean, I got like 89 of them. Um, I guess I guess the one episode me talking about me being single and struggling with that, because being single, a lot of people don't talk about it. A lot of people look at being single like I'm talking about making. I'm not talking about watching. I'm just talking about it. It really felt good to get that off my chest. Um, because a lot of people look at like singleness like it's a bad thing. Like, oh, I'm lonely. I'm this and that. But in that pod, like I talked about it. It's like it's what you're struggling with. That is why you are not in a relationship. And a lot of people don't talk about that much. If you guys are single and you guys are struggling, I would definitely check that episode out. I don't know exactly what number it is, but it really did like helped me that I finally got that off my chest. Because it's very hard to be single, or it's very hard to like be in a relationship when you've been single for so long. Yeah. So, what's your favorite episode? What do you go back to vlogging? Would I go back? That's a good question. No, I wouldn't. I honestly do like the fact that I do my own YouTube in my own house. Out in public is where I see things, with my own eyes, and I live my own life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need people to know that I'm a YouTuber. I don't need people to know my whole life basics. Like, oh, Monday I run errands. Oh, Tuesday I go to young adults. Oh, Sundays I go to church and stuff like that. I mean, I can talk about it on my pod. I can talk about it on YouTube, but you guys don't need to know my every move that I make. I don't want to make social media my everything, because I did that at one point, and I don't want to go back to that. I'll admit it, I do go to some cool places, but at the same time though, I enjoy my own peace. Like, it's me and God. I don't want me and the camera. I want me and God to like share that moment. of what he created when I go to those cool places that I go to, because I like to travel. But it's also a lot of times when I do that stuff is just it's me isolating myself from people, from the world, and just building that relationship with Jesus. Just me and God talking and having conversation and figuring things out and everything coming through. So it's just more of I don't want the whole me recording on camera of what I'm doing and all that. I don't want that extra work, dude. Like I'd rather just have this as my side job, and this is what I like. So yeah, it's probably a no. Um Last question. Why did you take a break from YouTube? That is a good question. Why did I? Is it cause me and my friends just were bickering and we were fighting and it was chaos and things were getting thrown and things were said that they shouldn't have been said? Was it because someone hacked into my YouTube channel? Was it because all my videos got deleted? Was that the reason? No, the reason why is just because I felt like it just wasn't the same anymore as it used to be. It felt very overwhelming, I guess you can say, or it didn't feel the same. When I first started vlogging, we were making vlogs on vlogs on vlogs on vlogs, dude. I was I was picking honestly, I was picking quantity over quality on those things. But yeah, in the winter time, it was crazy. Again, check out the first episode. I talked about this. In the winter time for 5 months, okay, like January through May, right? We're making vlogs on vlogs. And they were not that good of vlogs, okay? But still, we still did make a lot. And those were the fun ones. Like we're just like in the moment, we're just going with the flow. But as soon as it's summer rolled around, I was coming up with ideas like, yo, like let's do this, let's do that, let's make prank videos, let's make basically fake content. And I just I was like, let's make fake content, and it just got so much in my head where it's like nothing was good enough. And then so I think I took a break from vlogging, and then I came back. I think I made 3 vlogs after that. They weren't that bad of vlogs, honestly, but still, it just all didn't feel the same anymore. I felt like I needed to I was 17 also. I was 16 when I made the vlogs, and then I turned 17. And then I was still vlogging here and there, but it was also too, it was kind of hitting to me as like, am I getting too old for this? Like, I need to stop acting like a freaking YouTuber, dude. Like, I need to grow up. I think I also too, like, when I started vlogging, I didn't have a real job, okay? And then in high school, when I was 16 when I picked up this job. I worked at Dairy Queen for a bit. I think that's what really kind of made me like, okay, I'm working, I'm making money. Like it's just time to put down the camera and quit acting like you're trying to be this famous YouTuber. It's just more of like I felt like I was getting too old for it. Or not too old, but I just felt like I need some growing up to do. And I didn't pick up the camera I don't think I picked it up at all in 2019, 2020, 21, 22, or 23. I came back in 2024, back on YouTube. And then I started the pod and stuff like that, and it's just, now I'm back on YouTube, I guess you can say. Yeah, it is kind of weird to be by myself sometimes, but because I look back on the vlogs and it's like how I also had my friend Jordan and a lot of stuff too, and it's just now I'm kind of doing my own thing. It's like how do you go from always making content with people to you doing content by yourself? And it's like kind of think to yourself, it's like, dang, like where did time go? Like what happened? I sometimes think about that stuff. Sorry, I'm getting too deep, but thank you guys for listening to me. Like I said, next episode is probably gonna drop this upcoming Wednesday when I drop this podcast. So Stay tuned into the pod. Stay tuned into the YouTube channel, and just stay tuned. Subscribe, please. Please, I'm begging you. Please, please. Share this video, okay? I need some money, guys. No, I'm just playing. I hope you guys have a blessed day, though. Thank you guys for listening.